is Monica from RDA Media. Today, I unfortunately have another story of police misconduct. Masks were mandatory in Queensland for about 2 weeks. Teresa, who is going to share her story soon, has a medical exemption and knows her rights regarding mask wearing. As she was exiting a shopping centre in Queensland, she was, I would say, harassed by 2 police officers who didn't seem to understand her rights. She tried to tell them. They didn't care. They arrested her, brought her to the station, and now she's facing criminal charges. And this is her story. So, Teresa, in Queensland, masks were mandatory for 2 weeks, and you just happened to get yourself into some trouble during those 2 weeks, didn't you? Okay, so you're at a shopping centre with your daughter. You just bought some lunch. You're actually exiting the shopping centre, and you get approached by 2 members of police. What happened?
I was approached by the 2 police officers, and they questioned me why I wasn't wearing a mask. I advised them that I had a valid reason not to be wearing the mask. And then they demanded to see proof of that, which I advised that I did not need to show them under the Privacy Act and also the Disability Acts. And then they continued to ask for my information. I had no actual ID except for my university ID on me, which I showed them my ID. And then they continued to tell me that if I didn't put on a mask, I would have to leave the shopping centre, which I said, I'm going to be leaving the shopping centre in just a minute. But they kept harassing me, and as I then started to film them.
Please repeat your name for me.
No.
No? Okay, let me just...
Please get the phone out of my face, man.
No, you've got a camera going right there, so...
And then basically was ready to leave the shopping centre, was pushing my trolley up the aisleways of the shopping centre to go to my car, when the coppers were following me and kept demanding that I show them proof, and ended up saying, right, stop there, you're not going anywhere, we're going to arrest you now. And then they've literally grabbed my hands on the trolley and ripped them back. And of course I was struggling because I didn't know what was going on. And they've then basically cuffed me behind the back and said they were arresting me, and then took me off to the police beat at the shopping centre and kept me there for about half an hour. I had already advised them several times I had a valid reason. I even gave them the reason of why I was not wearing the mask. And they continued then to still basically arrest me for obstructing police, and then also said that they would send a COVID fine in the mail.
It is absolutely ridiculous. I have a valid excuse, and you people are making a mockery out of the system.
I imagine it was all quite a shock for you. But do you remember what was going through your head at that moment when they grabbed your hands on the trolley? And
immediately I started screaming out, I'm being assaulted, and all the people in the shopping centre stopped and were watching me, and I could see a guy on his phone. I said to him, yelled out, start filming this, and that's when my daughter grabbed my phone and started filming too. The whole time I was thinking, this is ridiculous, how can this be happening? I've given them a valid reason why they're still continuing to do this. And I think I yelled out, stop trying to assault me, you're kidnapping me. And then as I was saying to them, even Aldi had a sign at the front of their shop saying that they could understand people, not everyone can wear a mask. And they totally ignored that. I'd even tried previously to show them the documentation from Queensland Health stating I did not need to wear the mask. Again, they didn't want to know about it. And then when they were grabbing me and arresting me, it was actually hurting me. I've got very tender wrists. And I was, panicking, thinking, what about my child? And even my daughter said to them, what about me? They had no care that I had a child in my care, and they were going to just take me away anyways.
So now you've got a criminal charge against you of obstructing police, which obviously you're going to fight and win because there's so much proof there. What's next after that? Are you planning on taking this as far as you can? Or
Yeah, because I've also elected for the COVID fine to be challenged in court as well. And I'm definitely going to take these guys for everything they got, because not only was, as I said to the copper, he was triggering me because I did have a mental health illness.
Because I do have a mental health issue, PTSD, which actually makes me freak out, and I am so close to freaking out.
He continued to disregard my cares, and he had a duty of care to then actually assist me with my problems, which he totally ignored.
Unbelievable.
They're going all the way with this.
I really hope that they learn a lesson, because I think some police members kind of enjoy the power side of this, and it's completely unlawful, and they shouldn't be doing it. So
yeah.
If you had one message to tell those police officers right now, if they were listening, what would you say to them right now?
Go back and read the rules that you're trying to enforce, because you obviously don't know what you're doing.
You're going to have to go through quite a bit of hours of court and research and, all these types of stuff. Like, is it worth it to stand up for your rights?
I think it is, definitely. I've made it to almost 46, and in the last probably 15 years, I've realised that what's going on in the world is not right. And unless we start standing up for our rights right now, it's going to get a lot worse, a hell of a lot worse. I was a little intimidated by seeing everyone wear the masks. It sort of made me wonder then, if the government told us all to jump off a cliff, if every single one of those people would be doing that. And even if I didn't have a valid reason for wearing the mask, I don't think I'd wear one anyways, because it just proves that you're not thinking about what's going on. You're not being a critical thinker.
If you've been watching the RDA content, you'll know that we have researched our human rights around mask wearing very thoroughly. In fact, all the information is quite easy to find on the state health websites and the government websites and the human rights websites. I don't understand where the breakdown of communication is happening, that police officers think this type of behaviour is appropriate or even legal. Somewhere along the line, someone is not being trained correctly, and police officers are just making their own rules up. Teresa will fight this, and she will win. She will probably win civilly as well. They have done the wrong thing. They have broken the law. She was trying to leave, and they wouldn't let her. I hope that they can fix this breakdown of communication soon, because people are losing respect for police, and that's not what any of us really want. It's very hard for police to do their job if the people don't respect them. But they're going to have to do some work to gain respect back from people like Teresa. I hope that I can stop reporting on police misconduct. I hope that it stops happening. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. I promise RDA content won't always be so depressing. There are some good stories coming out soon too. Over the next 2 weeks, I'll be interviewing candidates for the Western Australian election. Their state election is coming up soon, and I think it's really important that people there have some different options than Labor. So I'll be doing that. I also have some segments left of my interview with Dolores Cahill, who is a world hero in this movement. I would call her one of the biggest figures in this movement. I also have an interview with Pete Evans that I need to edit and get out as well. So there's lots of great content coming up. I'd really love it if you followed me on my YouTube channel, Reignite Democracy Australia. Subscribe your email address at reignitedemocracyaustralia.com.au. I also have a Telegram channel, Facebook, Instagram, and a few other platforms as well. We're rejigging the website, so that's going to be done over the next month. It's going to be its own kind of social media network so that we can communicate with each other without trolls and interference and censorship and things like that. So that's going to be great. But yeah, I just love it if you followed along and supported me as much as you can, because your support really encourages me to wake up in the morning and start fighting. So I really need your support right now. It would be really great. There's just so many fires all over the place. It's really hard to focus and keep positive. So I really appreciate your supportive words and comments and everything. So thank you.